What's going on, y'all? I just wanted to demonstrate and bring to you a really high level decision making process whenever you're making or trying to make decisions in your business without getting exhausted, overwhelmed, especially if you're a solopreneur, you own your own business, or you're just starting out and you're looking to make faster, smarter decisions within your business without overthinking things or really getting stuck. Now, not everybody has the luxury of reaching out to like a consultant or is currently working with like a coach or business coach or anything like that, which is totally cool, right? But as we're going and we're pushing and we're creating and we're scaling or we're just starting out, there's always going to be some sort of what seems like some super high level decision that we need to make in order for us to gain traction and move forward. So as a solopreneur, or if you even have like a small team or you're starting to scale with team members, it's going to mean that your ability to make fast, confident decisions directly is going to impact your growth. Without the safety net of like employees or leadership teams, hesitation and over analysis can lead to lost opportunities, lost growth, wasted time, as well as just general overall business stagnation. I don't want any of that for you guys, but I'm going to share with you a really good three-step decision-making framework specifically for solo entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that's going to help you streamline your decision making, help you avoid any sort of unnecessary stress, and move your business forward with clarity and momentum. So let's just jump right into it. Step one, we're going to help make thinking time a non-negotiable habit for you. So when you don't have a team to delegate to, you are responsible for every single decision that you make within your business, whether it's a small decision, a large decision. And if you're constantly seeking external validation from like other mentors that you follow, like I call them like virtual mentors. Those are like the big players in the space, maybe like coaches. You guys have all heard of like Brendon Burchard, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella. There's tons of them out there, right? Jay Shetty, mindset mentor, Rob Dial, all these people. We look up to them and we consume their material, whether it's on YouTube, podcasts, general social media, and we take that as like advice sometimes, right? I know a lot of people, they grip onto what Alex Hormozy says and take it as like sheer advice, and they want to like utilize that advice in a direction to make good decisions for themselves, right? And Alex Hormozy is great. But oftentimes, the decision that we are faced with and the answer of that decision isn't just like readily available for us right there. We don't have that person sitting right next to us telling us what to do or like what next step to take, right? So we need to make a decision for ourselves. But whether this is peers, your friend group, or just general in social media as a whole, what happens is it's going to slow down our momentum by trying to seek that answer through like those various channels, right? So instead, what you would like to do is, and what I would suggest you to do is to start building and forming the habit of structured thinking before looking to outside input for direction. The whole purpose of this is it's going to eliminate decision fatigue so that you don't waste energy or on like just small baby choices. It's going to help you become more self-reliant and confident with the choices that you do make, as well as it's going to prevent procrastination that's disguised as like research or seeking endless feedback, right? So how do we install this? What I want you to do is to create a daily thinking window. This could be like 5, 15 minutes, zero distractions, no external inputs, no music, nothing like that. Um, just sit, stare, maybe take a walk. I know it's like walking meditation. This is really kind of a thinking window or like a meditation window on the decisions that you're like looking to make, right? And you could very well journal. I know a lot of people find it like cathartic to put paper to pen to paper and really journal about the issue before seeking any sort of external validation on it. So you could use like a decision journal before asking for any sort of advice. Write down the problem, the options that you have to address the problem, as well as some potential solutions. And this alone will often reveal the answer just by doing this practice, right? In a small 5 to 15 minute window of doing this. It's going to, you're going to want to also avoid like default delegation to just automatically referring to like gurus in the space, maybe your friends, social media, et cetera, et cetera. You're gonna want to stop wasting. Um, you're gonna want to stop waiting for like the perfect answer. And the entire purpose of this step one is to help you train yourself to trust your business and general instincts. Step two is what's referred to as the 6 inch putt framework in order to make decisive, quick decisions. I got this from Layla Hormozi. I think if you don't follow Layla, you should. I think her approach versus Alex is much more um, compatible with a lot of the way people think in business. She brings a feminine yet ferocious energy as well as clarity to whatever it is that she shares. And I heard her refer to this as the 6 inch putt framework. So this is where I got this. I never heard of it before, but when she described it, I said, that's awesome. But what is the 6 inch putt framework? This is step two. Decisions don't have to be complicated. The best decisions are simple, they're structured, and easy to execute. So instead of overthinking, use the 5 part framework to get clear and move forward. The entire purpose here is it's going to simplify big and small business decisions into actionable steps. It reduces overwhelm and hesitation by breaking decisions into logical parts and ensures that you will be making intentional choices and not reactive choices. We always want to be moving forward in an intentional practice within our business rather than just reacting to things as they are occurring. So, how is it that we implement the 6 inch putt framework in order to make decisive and quick decisions? So, before making any decision, I want you to go through these 5 steps. Number one is we want to get the right information. So, what is the real problem that you are solving? Not just the symptoms, but the actual root cause. Next, what is the goal of solving this problem? So, clarity on what success actually looks like. And then, what key facts do you already know? You want to remove any sort of emotional bias and stick to actual data. This comes into play with tracking the information that, like, you're going through. If you're not tracking various information, let's just say, like you're just like social media, like your insights. If you're not tracking any of your insight information from the virality of certain posts or your post in general, and you're not gauging the traction that your like social media, let's just say like Instagram, your Instagram posts are getting on just general social media with your audience, and you're trying to solve a problem with the traction of your content, but yet you have no analytics around your content so far, you're just going to be stuck in an endless loop. So I think it goes metrics. You need to track your metrics because you can manage metrics or whatever the phrase is, but that's absolutely true with every area of your business. So get very acquainted with spreadsheets or tracking devices, whatever that looks like for you and your business. I'm like a spreadsheet weirdo. I love them because I love seeing that information because otherwise I'm just kind of throwing caution into the wind and assuming that there's a problem happening. And then when I'm trying to solve that problem, I don't have any validity behind what it is that like where the problem is coming from. And I need to have that information. Number two, consider the options. So, like, what are 2 to 3 possible good solutions? Not just the easiest or safest solutions, but what are 2 to 3 possible good solutions? What are the pros and cons of each of those options? And then which option feels the most obvious based on logic, right? Again, getting away from emotion, but going back to more logical solutions or options. And then three, identify the risks. So, what could go wrong if you went ahead and made this particular decision? So, new solutions will always bring new challenges. It's like that whole adage, more money, more problems. It's just as we progress and we overcome one problem, there's always going to be something else that needs to be solved. With every solution is going to come another new problem. Just what it is. Uh, What's the worst case scenario? So be brutally honest here with yourself. How bad is it really? How bad is the problem really? And then can I live with the worst case scenario? If yes, you still want to move forward. And if no, possibly make an adjustment. And then we go into seek a peer check before finalizing um, our decision, right? So instead of blindly asking for advice, choose from a trusted source. You also see this all over the place. Um, Never take advice from somebody that's not in the position that you're looking to go or hasn't done the thing that you are looking to do, right? It's one of the worst things that you can do. I'm not going to go into super detail with that. I've got a lot to say on like all of these gurus that are offering advice, but they haven't actually done the thing. And then people are like looking to them for advice. It's like, why the hell would you ever ask somebody? I'll give you an example. I had been following this person on YouTube who has a course on growing and scaling, specifically with Reels on Instagram. And they have a lot, they almost have like a million followers on YouTube. And then if you go and research this particular person's Instagram profile and their reels, they don't even have reels. It's like getting fitness advice from somebody that's overweight at the gym. Like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you might be knowledgeable in what needs to happen, but I need to see real world expression that you are capable of actually doing that. Otherwise, like, why do I need to learn that from you? You didn't do it. Same thing with like a lot of college professors. In theory, they've got the education, but that education has expired unless they've like been up to date with certain like knowledge and skill set. But I'd much rather learn from somebody who is currently doing it and crushing it in that actual space rather than like pay a college to go learn from a professor who learned from books from years ago and all the information that they're sharing or teaching on is really irrelevant at this point, and they're also not doing it, right? So instead of blindly asking for advice, choose one from a trusted source, whether that's an actual mentor that is going through it, somebody that you're involved in their mastermind where they're also doing the thing, or a coach that is also doing that thing. And frame your question with clarity. So I have specific problem. And this goes into the relationship between like you, your coach, your mentor, et cetera. How to ask effective questions in order to solve a problem. Here is my problem. Here are some of the solutions that I've considered, A, B, and C. And I believe that this one, C, is the best choice. Would you agree with that? Right? This keeps you in control of your decision making while still using external inputs effectively. And then finally, the 6-inch putt, you're going to want to decide on what the actions to take and then act. Super, super important. The action is the most important thing. We don't want to get stuck in the analysis paralysis phase of doing a bunch of research, collecting the data, trying to understand like what the problem is. And once we go through that process and we get to the decision, it's very important that you install it. So make a recommendation to yourself. Instead of what should I do, ask, I have gathered the facts, considered the risks, and I've decided on the actual solution. Unless there's a massive reason why not to do it, you need to proceed. Set a deadline and act on your decision within 1 day or 24 hours. Step three of the entire process is to enforce this process until it becomes automatic. Again, the entire process as a whole is really how do we make high level decisions in our business as a solopreneur? So we're going to start installing this as a continual process that we do automatically. So the biggest trap for solo entrepreneurs is really falling back into hesitation and over analyzing things. Decisions feel more personal because you're the only one that's really responsible for everything that's going on in your business. And in order to break this cycle, you must enforce a structured approach to decide and make decisions until it becomes just your second nature. So the entire purpose is to stop analysis paralysis as well as second guessing. increase your confidence with general decision making overall, and help you move faster without any sort of stress or fear of failure. In order to execute this, every single time you get stuck on any sort of decision, pull out the framework. Keep a decision scorecard, track decisions that you've made, why it is that you've made them, and the outcome. Over time, what this is going to do is going to start building your resilience as well as your own self-trust in being able to make business decisions for your business. And if you find yourself hesitating, set the 5-minute timer. And by the end, you must make a call and move forward. So, just a recap on everything: how to make faster, smarter decisions as a solopreneur. Make thinking a habit. Block time for deep thinking and reduce dependence on external validation. Use the 6-inch putt framework. Simplify your decision by gathering information, consider all options, assess the risk, and then finalize the decision with confidence. And then, most importantly, enforce it until it's automatic. And then train yourself to make faster, smarter choices without any sort of hesitation. And by following this adaptive framework, you're going to be able to stop overthinking, start acting decisively, and grow your business with confidence and speed. I'm going to share with you a little plug and play decision making framework based on everything that I just shared. I'm going to share my screen here now and show you what it is that I have. If you would like a copy of this, simply DM me the word decide and I will send it over to you. So let's just walk through this in like real time as far as a template. So you can use this to quickly and confidently make decisions in your business. Step one, again, define the decision clearly. So what is the specific decision that I need to make? Here are just some examples. Should I launch a group coaching program or continue with one-on-one high-ticket coaching? So what really is the core problem that I'm solving with this decision? Here's the example. I want to be able to scale my income and impact without working more hours. So obviously, with one-on-one coaching, you're working a lot of one-on-one hours, and at some point, your calendar is going to be like fully booked out, limiting your income. What is my ultimate goal in making this decision? To create a scalable offer that serves multiple clients at once while maintaining high quality coaching. Excellent. Step two, gathering the right information. So, what are the key facts I already know about this situation? So, you're going to want to list out any relevant data, experiences, or insights that support this. Then, what information am I missing that could impact my decision? So, you can list things like research, any feedback from your current clients, or any sort of resources you might need to collect before deciding. Step three, consider all options. So, what are at least 2 to 3 possible solutions or paths forward that you can take? And you're going to want to list those out. And then we're going to go through and list out the pros and cons of each one of those options. So, you have little boxes here you would plug in, obviously, the options up here, 2 to 3 possible solutions. And then you would want to put those in here and then just list out the pros and cons. So out of those 3 options, 2 to 3, which option feels the most logical and aligned with my business goals? And just circle those. Then we want to identify the risks and a worst case scenario. So what could go wrong if I choose, option one? Example, if I launch a group program, I might struggle with engagement or retention. What's the worst case scenario? No one signs up and I have to pivot. Okay. Now, can I live with this worst case scenario? Yes or no? And then what could I do to mitigate or recover from the worst case? Example of this. I could mitigate or recover from the worst case scenario if I was to pre-sell the program before actually building it out so that I could validate the fact that there's demand for it. Step 5, validate with a peer or mentor. This is completely optional again. This is not an absolute must. And as you get better and better at decision making, you're likely not going to be reaching out unless you're currently enrolled working with some sort of business mentor or like coach or program. Have I run this decision by a trusted peer mentor? Yes or no? Then what feedback did I receive and how does it impact my decision? So summarize some key insights. Step 6, make the decision and take action. My final decision is, and then write down what it is that you're going to do. What is the first action step that I need to take to implement this decision? announce the program, start a wait list. Uh, when will I take this action? Set a deadline in order to execute. And again, recommend it within the next day. How will I measure success or evaluate if this was the right decision? Here's the example. If I get 10 people that sign up, I know that this was a good move. Boom, decision complete. So, by following this framework, you're going to be able to stop overthinking and start making bold decisions in your own business as a solopreneur and be able to make massive strategic moves in your business. When you land on this, if you want to make your own copy, just go ahead and go in the file, make a copy, and then save it into a folder to make decisions and utilize this framework to make high level decisions. Hope you got great value out of this. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comment section. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you on the inside.